Welcome to the FootBridge Energy Leadership Series, where energy leaders build what powers tomorrow.
So I am joined today by Erhan Karaca, the CTO of VEIR. Erhan, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Luke. Good morning.
Good morning. We're in balmy Massachusetts today. I know you're used to the cold, having moved down from New York, but still reminding us that winter's starting here.
Yes.
Looking forward to the episode. Was hoping maybe you could quickly just start by introducing yourself and a little bit about your background, and then we can jump into the leadership series, which essentially the goal is to connect energy leaders to talk about projects, technologies that, our audience of energy employees is going to benefit from learning about.
Perfect. Absolutely. Good morning again. And my name is Erhan Karaca. I have a mechanical engineering background. I have 30 plus years of experience in power industry, mostly on the power generation side. I worked for a General Electric company for a long time, mainly on the gas turbine and steam turbine combined cycle, power plant design, deployment, and development. I was always on the new product introduction section of the business. I had various roles, all the way from systems engineering to product management, where I had multiple facets of business that I was able to see and learn. In 2019, I left GE to join a startup from Cambridge for long-duration energy storage solutions. I worked there for 4 years, tried to develop the technology, and I was in the leadership team of that startup. Then I had a brief nuclear exposure, industry exposure, I should say.
Sounds safer.
Exactly, it's much safer. I worked for a startup company from Washington, D.C. for micro modular reactor designs. And when the VEIR opportunity arose in December of 2023, I joined VEIR as a leader of the product development and manufacturing. I also work very closely with the product management and supply chain functions.
Awesome. So now you're at VEIR, and for anyone new to that company, could you describe a little bit, what you're building and why it matters?
Absolutely. VEIR builds novel superconducting power transmission technologies that solve the power density problem. As you know, both on the transmission side and on the delivery side, power demands are really, really high, and they are going higher and higher as we speak. The congestion areas on the transmission side and the data center related power demands are really constraining the grid. So superconducting solutions that VEIR built actually solve that high power density problem, the power delivery problem.
Terrific. And I guess what personally motivated you to take on this type of challenge in transmission?
Absolutely. It's building something new, providing all my experience that I learned over my career to actually work with a good team that can actually build something and solve a worldwide problem. Transmission and power delivery is becoming more and more important, as we just spoke about, especially for the transmission and power delivery system. So solving that problem with all the experience and building something new was the main aspects for me to join VEIR.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I know, obviously with load growth accelerating from data centers and electrification, EVs, what gap in the grid today do you think you guys are directly addressing?
Yes. As the AI comes into our lives and the traditional data center designs need to be scaled up to be able to cover the demands of the AI, both on the large language model learning and also for the usage. The traditional cables, bus bars, and the traditional power delivery systems actually are inefficient and the space intensive. The data center designers are looking for very high speed installations. And as they go, they would like to also solve the power delivery problem. Our cables and our solution delivers 10 times the power that the traditional bus bars and cables can provide, which much more smaller footprint and much more availability for scalability.
Awesome. And then, I was going to ask why you think right now is maybe the moment for that transmission technology breakthrough to happen.
Yes. As we just spoke, especially the data center market. requires a lot of energy, not only to interconnect to the grid, but also within the campus to be distributed through the campus from the medium voltage to all the way to low voltage to the data halls. So our technology actually we are just at the right time for our technology to be implemented into these data centers based on these huge power needs and based on the fact that our technology is ready.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like great timing, which always helps.
Exactly.
And for, some of the engineers in our audience, can you explain at a high level maybe how the superconductor-based approach works?
So here's a superconducting solution is a patented, compact, and high power density superconducting cable, consists of a superconducting cable that operates with minimal electrical losses for the AC and no electrical losses for DC applications. It is supported by an integrated cryogenic system for the superconducting operation required for the superconducting cable. And we delivered, as I said, 10 times greater the power within the compact area. It enables the flexible data center designs and faster deployment compared to the traditional bus bars and the cables.
Interesting. Okay. And then are there any engineering breakthroughs that led to, this technology being possible today in your eyes?
Yeah, obviously, the cryogenic industry is very important, and cryogenic solutions that we provide, because superconducting material actually gets to the superconducting regime when you get to the colder temperatures. That's number one. Number two is VEIR's capability of creating the cables with the low losses for the AC and no losses for the DC. That enables us to go much longer distances. Our control system and our termination units are very important, obviously, because in the overall architecture, you have to switch from traditional copper cables and bus bars to the superconducting cables, and then back to copper to be able to provide the necessary architecture. So those termination units, which is VEIR patented and VEIR technology, they enable us to be able to put our system together with the integrated solution as a power delivery system for the data centers.
Awesome. Okay. And then do you think there's misunderstandings that people might have about transmission technology today, or is there, misconceptions about the market that you generally see?
On the transmission side, the transmission industry is very slow, and the utilities that cover the transmission lines are very traditional in terms of how they operate. So there are some thresholds that we have to pass to be able to implement the superconducting technology. However, with the recent pilot deployment that we had in Woburn in our facilities, where we transferred 3 megawatts of power with single cable, actually got a lot of importance and a lot of attention from both the data center designers and also for the utilities. So the transmission lines and the grid constraints related to the transmission lines need to be solved. And in my perspective, superconductivity is one of the most important solutions that we can bring on the table.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have a lot of conversations with various, parts of the system each day, and transmission, I feel like, can sometimes be overlooked, but how important it is, it can't be understated. And you led right into my next question. So I was going to ask you about some key milestones you guys have hit. It sounds like that one was a major one for you in Woburn recently. Maybe there's others you can talk about.
Absolutely. VEIR was founded in 2019, end of 2019, and since then we went through our Series A, and recently, by the end of 2024, beginning of this year, actually 2025, we completed our Series B. We oversubscribed for $75 million, and it was led by the Munich Re and Microsoft themselves, the Climate Investment Fund from Microsoft, the Engine, and Breakthrough Energy Ventures, together with National Grid as a strategic investor. That was obviously a huge accomplishment from VEIR's company journey perspective. And in November of this year, also, we have, as we mentioned, completed the STAR. We call it the Superconducting Technology for AI Racks demonstration for 3 megawatts in Woburn in our facilities. with a single cable at a 50 meters length. Those are great accomplishments for VEIR company.
Congratulations. That's amazing. And it's great. We're here in Andover, so not too far away. Exactly.
Visited us. Yes.
Would love to. Yeah, maybe we can do
Absolutely.
a live tour. So would love to hear, what's your thoughts for the next 12 to 18 months? What are you guys thinking about? What are you focused on in that time?
Absolutely. For the 2026, we are actually actively working with hyperscalers and other customers, OEMs, to have commercial pilots at their facilities. That is the main goal. And in 2027, we are actually looking for scaled customer-based projects, commercial projects, deployments.
And so you heard it here, folks. If you're looking for this technology, definitely reach out and get in touch.
Absolutely.
So you touched on some of the utilities a little bit, but how are utilities or maybe EPCs or other players responding when they evaluate the design of your products?
Yeah, both utilities on the transmission side and on the power delivery side, on the medium voltage and low voltage, the hyperscalers and the data center designers are actually demanding a lot of density and a lot of solutions, or moving power from one point to another with minimal impact on the environment, on the permitting, on everything else. So they are actually very much interested in our technology. We had several customer visits to our Star pilot, and the generic feedback that we are getting is they are seeing that this is actually the technology risk has been retired. The system works, the solution works, and actually it is required from their perspective because of the high power densities and the congestion in the transmission industry that we are seeing.
Terrific. And last one before we change gears, I'm curious, do you see any advantages around permitting or land use advantages in changing this adoption path? Is that something that's been relevant to you guys?
Absolutely, absolutely. Actually, one of the major value propositions that we have is to be able to use the existing right-of-ways for the transmission lines to bring more power through them. The superconducting technology actually enables you to move, because of the low losses, enables you to move higher amounts of power with lower voltages. So the existing right-of-ways with lower voltages can be upgraded to be for the same voltage class and not requiring any more land purchases or any more right-of-way changes to bring much more power, much higher amounts of power from the same right-of-way. Also, our underground solution technology is obviously buried, and it, I think, receives well by the communities in terms of permitting and the generic community feedback that we have to get for those applications.
Awesome. Well, it's great. I didn't realize that was such an advantage. The more we learn about all these land challenges and permitting right away, that seems to be a huge differentiator.
That is correct.
So shifting gears maybe towards the people aspect of this a little bit. We do a lot of placement of engineers, and our CEO was a nuclear project engineer. That's how FootBridge formed 25 years ago. What type of engineers or specialists are you guys looking for these days? What's hard to find? What's, important to your team?
Absolutely. We are looking for cryogenics field engineers from the cryogenics field. And actually, before I maybe get into that, we are with the achievement of the Star pilot, we are seeing a lot of demand on our company, and at the same time expand the team, because we not only have to do further product development, but also start executing the projects and the pilot projects, especially in 2026, and then commercial projects by 2027. So VEIR is an expanding mode. From the engineering perspective, we are looking for fields in the cryogenics, because obviously liquid nitrogen system is an important one for us. Electrical, mechanical, and high temperature superconducting industry background engineers. Also, having a data center experience or data center understanding is also that we are very much after, because the initial customer is going to be look like the data center customers.
That's awesome. That's really exciting. And when you say electrical, is that all across the voltage range? Like, controls to high voltage?
Absolutely. The low voltage and the medium voltage products are currently available, and we are discussing with customers on applications. Obviously, our next step is going to go to the high voltage cables. So we are actually looking for all voltage class electrical engineer expertise.
Excellent. And no other companies want those people these days, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. They're hard to find. You're right. You're right.
Well, that's great. So for folks that might be interested, what traits do you think make someone successful on your team? And maybe a little bit about just your management style. How do you try to keep a technical organization aligned as you guys are iterating through all these products and services?
Absolutely. So for somebody to be successful in VEIR, actually, they need to have deep expertise. That's what we are looking for in their area, in their function. But at the same time, having the startup mentality. That's an important one because we are a startup company and we need to go fast, and we fail fast. That's our goal. To be able to get that ambiguity and dynamicism and being thriving in that environment, I think it's going to be an important one for the engineers and talent that we're looking for. Second, from the engineering organization perspective, we are really operating as one team. We are providing the full system solution as VEIR for the superconducting. We are not only building a cable and then providing the superconducting cable, we are actually engineering the whole solution ourselves. So from that perspective, we don't have any silos. We design from the get-go, and we stay always together to be able to build. I can tell you that the STAR pilot, this is the 3 megawatt pilot that we just finished, was a full teamwork from the engineering of VEIR company.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like a really exciting opportunity for folks both locally and, if you're seeing this across the country, I'm sure it's a great opportunity. So a couple more questions, just forward looking as we wrap here, but what would you say is maybe the most underestimated grid constraint today that people should be thinking about?
Well, we would like the customers, our customers, and everybody to see the VEIR as a one-stop solution for a low voltage, medium voltage, high voltage, both from the transmission perspective and from the power delivery perspective or the distribution perspective. As one-stop solution, and that's really how we are trying to position the company. Our first products are on the low voltage and the medium voltage levels for the indoor and above ground and underground applications. And slightly after that, we will be working on the transmission line overhead products that we are building. So we would like everybody to see us as one-stop solution for all the transmission and power delivery and distribution issues.
So my next question was going to be, how do you guys fit into that next era of transmission build out? I'm guessing the one-stop, player for all voltage levels for transmission and distribution is a good place to start.
Exactly. So especially if you look at the data center industry, one of their major constraints is to have the interconnection to the grid. So we can solve those with our underground solutions at the medium voltage level. Also, then when you bring the power to the campus, then how you distribute that through the medium voltage and the low voltage that needs to go to the data halls. That's our indoor product. So we are really looking from a holistic perspective of how we can remove all the pain points that the data center designers and hyperscalers have. Also, from the utilities perspective, there are lots of congested areas, and at times that they limit the application of the renewables and the integration of the renewables further with the grid. And this constraint needs to be resolved. I think for a climate tech company as well, we are really focused on how we can remove those congestions in the grid and bring more renewables by bringing the higher power levels at the low voltage classes so that the current right-of-ways can be used and the upgrade on the transmission overall industry can happen.
Awesome. So last question here, what should utilities, developers, or any other potential partners understand about VEIR as you guys scale? And also, how can they get in touch with you if they're interested?
Absolutely. I think our star pilot and the overall feedback, as I mentioned earlier, actually provides a really good understanding to the hyperscalers and all the customers that visited us, including the utilities, that we enable growth, and superconducting is kind of inevitable as we are trying to go to the next stage of power needs for the data centers, for renewables, for the transmission, for distribution. And our technology is reliable and it is available now. So we are ready to actually deploy our pilots in other customers' facilities and get into commercial contracts with our customers for deployments in 2027. Anybody that would like to work with us can reach out to myself and to our CEO or to our CCO, our Chief Commercial Officer. Look at our website and can come and visit us for the STAR application and see everything by their eyes in Uber.
Great. And we'll link that website here following the episode so they can click in if they are not connected to you guys. But Ron, great to have you on the series here. Really appreciate your time and, very excited to see what the future brings for VEIR.
Absolutely. I truly appreciate it, Luke. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.